medal is falling back, and now it's a fight for that last spot. But there's no doubt about the leader, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, 56.7 factorial. Did you hear the news? Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone has just shattered her own world record in the 400-metre hurdles with a mind-blowing time of 50.65 seconds at the US Olympic trials. Can you believe she keeps getting faster, breaking records as if it's effortless? McLaughlin is closing in. The reigning Olympic champion and world record holder has the advantage. Does the young challenger have anything left in the tank in these final meters? It's coming down to the wire. But remember, Mohammed has never won this title twice. She's been runner-up before. Mohammed at the line. Let's rewind to the 2019 World Championships, a moment that will forever be etched in track and field history. This was when Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone faced off against Dalilah Muhammad in one of the most intense and unforgettable 400-metre hurdles races of all time. The rivalry between these two athletes was fierce, each pushing the other to greater heights. Dalilah Muhammad was already a proven champion, but Sydney was the rising star that everyone was watching. The race itself was electrifying. Both athletes were neck and neck, clearing hurdles with astonishing speed and precision. As they neared the final stretch, the outcome was uncertain. Then, in the final moments, Dalilah Muhammad edged ahead, crossing the finish line first and setting a new world record. It was her second world record that year, cementing her status as the best in the world. Sydney had given it her all but had to settle for second place. You might think such a high-stakes loss would be discouraging, but for Sydney, it was the opposite. That race became a turning point in her career. It fueled her drive to train harder, refine her technique, and come back stronger. She used that moment as motivation, determined to return faster than ever. Then I head to practice, which lasts about 2 to 2.5 hours on the track. Depending on the day, it could be speed work, speed endurance, longer tempo runs, or hurdle drills. From that moment on, Sydney committed herself to relentless improvement. She didn't just want to match Dalilah Muhammad, she wanted to surpass her. That loss ignited a fire in her, leading to an incredible streak of victories and world records. It wasn't just about proving something to the world, it was about proving something to herself. In 2021, Sydney showed everyone exactly what she was made of. The first major milestone came at the US Olympic trials. The atmosphere was electric as she took her position on the track. This performance sent a clear message. Sydney was ready to dominate at the Tokyo Olympics, and dominate she did. In 2022, she continued rewriting the record books. First at the US Nationals, fans and fellow athletes were eager to see if she could outdo herself. Not only did she meet expectations, she exceeded them, setting a new world record with a time of 51.41 seconds. It was jaw-dropping, but she wasn't done yet. Later that year at the World Championships, she stunned the world again, demolishing her own record. This time she clocked in at an astonishing 50.68 seconds. This wasn't just breaking a record, it was redefining what was possible in the 400-metre hurdles. Going into 2023, Sydney's dominance showed no signs of slowing down. She remained undefeated in the 400-metre hurdles, but what was even more impressive was her versatility. She started competing in the 200 and 400 metres as well, and she excelled in those events too. It's as if she has extra gear that no one else possesses. Her performances across multiple disciplines showcased her remarkable talent and athleticism, proving she wasn't just a hurdler, she was an all-around track and field superstar. The 2024 US Olympic trials were filled with anticipation, especially with Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone set to compete in the 400-metre hurdles. Fans, commentators and fellow athletes were eager to see if she could push the limits once again. She'd already broken the world record 4 times. Could she do it again? As race day approached, the excitement was palpable. Sydney's previous performances had set an incredibly high bar, and the expectations were through the roof. People packed into Eugene's Hayward Field knowing they were about to witness history. Sydney had only raced the 400-metre hurdles once that year before the trials, but everyone knew she was in peak condition. She got out well through the first half, but Anna Cockrell was right there. You could feel the moment Sydney was about to make her move. Jasmine Jones runs strong in lane 5, but here comes Sydney. When the race began, Sydney was in lane 5. At the starting gun, the field got off to an even start, but within 200 metres, Sydney had pulled slightly ahead. Unlike her usual races, where she establishes a commanding lead early this time, she seemed to pace herself, reserving energy for a powerful finish. As the race progressed, Sydney began to widen the gap. Her form was flawless, her speed unmatched. By the 250-metre mark, she had created a significant lead. The crowd was on its feet, roaring as she charged toward the final stretch. Sydney powered through the last 100 metres with incredible strength and determination, leaving her competitors far behind. As she crossed the finish line, the clock read 50.65 seconds. The stadium erupted in cheers. She had done it again, breaking her own world record for the 5th time. This achievement was monumental. Not only did she secure her place on the US team for the Paris Olympics, but she also pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible in the 400-metre hurdles. Sydney's reaction was a mix of disbelief and joy. She later told reporters, "Honestly, I wasn't expecting that time. Knowing that there's more there and more to fix is a confidence booster heading into Paris." Her humility and commitment to constant improvement are truly inspiring. After setting yet another world record at the 2024 US Olympic trials, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone was both thrilled and surprised. In her post-race interview, she said, "Honestly, I wasn't expecting that time. Knowing that there is more there and more to fix just gives me confidence heading into Paris." Even after achieving such an incredible milestone, Sydney remained focused on refining her craft and pushing her limits even further. Honestly, shock. "When I first saw 50.67 on the screen, I thought, there's no way." But here we are. Track and field analysts were quick to weigh in on Sydney's latest record-breaking run. Many were amazed by her ability to consistently improve her times. One expert remarked, "Sydney isn't just breaking records, she's redefining the sport. Her technique, speed, and mental toughness are unparalleled." The conversation quickly turned to whether Sydney could break the elusive 50-second barrier. If anyone can do it, it's Sydney. She's proven time and again that she's capable of things once thought impossible. Another expert compared her progression, highlighting her steady dominance in the sport. In 2021, she shattered the world record twice, first clocking 51.9 seconds at the Olympic trials. That was groundbreaking enough, but she didn't stop there. In 2022, she set new marks of 51.41 at the US Nationals and 50.68 at the World Championships. And now she's taken it even further with 50.65. What's truly incredible is how Sydney continues to evolve. Her progression from 51.9 to 50.65 in just a few years speaks to her relentless dedication and extraordinary talent. Her ability to repeatedly break her own records shows a level of dominance rarely seen in any sport. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone's impact on track and field goes beyond her records. She's inspiring a new generation with her performances and her mindset of continuous improvement. As we look ahead to the Paris Olympics, excitement is building. How far can Sydney push the limits of the 400-metre hurdles? Watching her race is witnessing history in the making, and her story is far from over. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.